What's going on, Jerome's? So, weighing in on this running back pay conundrum that's going on, and you see Derrick Henry and Austin Eckler and Jonathan Taylor Thomas opining on social media about it, and it is unfortunate, but running backs simply are not paid like some other positions. And there's a lot of things that go into it. Number one, I mean, running backs, the career is relatively short, and the NFL does stand for not for long, but running back is also the position of attrition. And it's really unfortunate. But if you backtrack, the body only has so many shots in it, man. So once these guys get to the league, they've been bell cows in college, they've been bell cows in high school and pee wee and all that stuff, and it does add up. So that, as well as younger and cheaper, is always in vogue, and teams are always going to gravitate towards that. And in the age of analytics, if you can get comparable production from a younger, cheaper guy that comes in as a late round pick or a UDFA, even, they're going to do it. So, and also the reason busts in some of the high end contracts. You look at Todd Gurley, you look at Le'Veon Bell with the Jets, you look at Zeke Elliott, and teams are like, hey, fool me 4 times, shame on me, sort of deal. So you are seeing teams hesitant to pay out the big dollars for running backs. Hence why Tony Pollard and Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley are going to be playing this year on the franchise tag as opposed to signing long term deals. And there's no easy answer for this. And do I think that special rules should be put in place for the running backs? Maybe, but also does that set a precedent? Like, how come we're not making rules and exceptions for guards that are underpaid, or off-ball linebackers, or box safeties, or what are we doing here? I think what also plays into it is just history. Because remember, back in the day, running back used to be the premium position on offense. You look at Adrian Peterson and Barry Sanders and Eric Dickerson and Walter Payton. You literally built your team and your offense around the rushing attack. But now you don't do that anymore. I mean, bell cow running backs are very rare. And we've said this before. Emmitt Smith's all-time rushing record is never going to be broken because there's not going to be a player that gets that amount of work for that amount of time. It just simply is not going to happen. And us here with the Vikings, we face that dilemma ourselves where, all right, so you're going to keep Dalvin Cook at 10.4 million per year? No, no. And then Dalvin hitting the realities, and also I think that his agents are filling his head with some really bad information. Just like there's a fine line between having confidence in your client and just completely diluting them. Where if Dalvin thought that he's going to come out and get a significant contract in free agency in this era, for a running back, it wasn't going to happen. Hence why there's multiple offers on the table, including one from the Dolphins, but he hasn't accepted one yet because they're all lowball offers, and that's the reality of the market. Where you have, I mean, running backs are what they are. They have a short career lifespan, and they're very interchangeable. And that's just the way that the market is now. And I don't know if there's a way to change things up. Maybe running backs coming in are on 2-year rookie deals and then they're able to hit free agency, or take away the running back franchise tag. But also, that would devalue them in the draft even further. Like, why would teams spend a high draft pick on a guy who's only going to be there for 2 years and they can't franchise tag? So I don't think that there's any easy answer. And I don't know what the league or the union can necessarily do, but it is odd, especially since running backs are usually one of the more high profile positions because of fantasy football. And of course, if you have a fantasy running back who does everything on all 3 downs, I mean, that's going to have a lot of value. But in actual football, they just don't. And I don't know what the answer is. I mean, look at the Vikings. They passed on Dalvin Cook, and they brought back Alexander Madison on a very small 2-year deal. And then they have a bunch of guys on rookie contracts: King Kene, Ty Chandler, as well as Dwayne McBride, including 2 running backs that the current GM, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, drafted. Ty Chandler last year in the 5th, as well as Dwayne McBride in the 7th. And does Kwesi and the analytics team think that they can get comparable production if they get rid of Dalvin versus Madison, Kene, Chandler, and McBride? Yes, obviously they think so. So I just don't know. You feel bad for some of the high-profile running backs, but The market is the market is the market, and also I do think that Christian McCaffrey's like lunacy contract with the Panthers definitely skewed things. Definitely had teams shying away, and especially Le'Veon Bell. Remember when he sat out a year of his prime with the Steelers, and the Steelers were just fine, and then he signed that stupid contract with the Jets, and then he was Busto and Garbaggio. So I think that teams simply are not paying running backs, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. And I hate to say it, but it just sort of is what it is. Yeah, it's unfortunate. But anyways, that's our thoughts on the running back pay conundrum currently. Anyways, Skull, no production value.